this is Yukie Kudo speaking from Japan, and today is 23rd of May 2025. What I would like to tell you is quite interesting finding which I have been really making since last year regarding the music and regarding also the Parfum, the fragrance that I really do like. And what I have come to finding is quite interesting. In my neighborhood, I found a very antique Parfum, which is really a masterpiece of the entire history of the Parfum creation. And one of this is really the very famous, where should I actually start? Yes, this Guerlain. And it's really old. This is a Mitsouko by Jacques Guerlain, and it's a creation year 1919. It's exactly the year the First World War has ended, and there was the conference, a very famous conference in Versailles de Paris, in France, and there was actually many discussions and certain hopes for the peace. And well, this is one of the masterpieces called Mitsouko, and it was really my surprise that I came to find in my neighborhood, because it is quite in my understanding of my liking perfume or fragrance in my entire life. It is a kind of masterpiece which is really rare to find, and I would suppose it's almost impossible to find the actual creation, which was dating back to 1919. And I think this is the one which is actually going back to 1919. And the reason that Monsieur Jacques Guerlain has created this, there are two hypotheses. And one is actually the hypothesis that which assume that this Madame from Japan or Japan is waiting for the return of her husband of the Russo-Japanese War of 1904 to 1905, and in that particular case, absolutely it must be General Nogi and General Maresuke Nogi's wife, who was originally from Satsuma, Kagoshima, the current Kagoshima prefecture, and that's exactly the place where my samurai ancestor, great grandfather, was actually doing all sorts of revolutionary things. And second hypothesis is about this yes, also about the Japanese madame who originally was named as Mitsouko Aoyama, who got married to a aristocrat of Europe. The very person later created the founding of the EU or EC, whose name was Kardinghof, yes, if I remember correctly. So there isn't particular absolute answer to this question, which is correct and which is not correct. But again, I was so surprised positively to find this really old version of Mitsouko, which is quite difficult to find by chance in my neighborhood. And the reasons why I do understand the exact age or exact era or exact year of creation is not only because of this bottle and how it is actually being created, and also this package, but at the same time there is a particular duration of time that the intellectual property law is able to protect at that time of 1919, as to how long. And also, so each the same brand, the same naming maybe might have a completely different fragrance or scent. And it was quite a miracle, I have to say, that I came to find this Mitsouko, which is so symbolic of the end of war, symbolic of, let's say, the love of really many things, whether it could be a love between the husband and the wife, or whether it could be a friendship between if it is the case of General Maresuke Nogi, it's a friendship amazingly being established between the General Nogi and also General Shesel of Russia. And so it's quite interesting. And also the other thing I have come to the finding, it is not at all, this video is not at all for the marketing purposes, because I assume that it is just impossible to find those things being sold now. The other, masterpiece, which made by Jampatu, and also quite symbolic of the wartime, because Monsieur Jampatu was actually serving for the war before 1919 in Algeria, and it was around 1930 that he created this masterpiece. The aim was like the most extravagant, the most expensive parfum, which is called Joy. This looks like this, but for the reasons, because this is really, really, again, very, antique and very old, the reason why I do understand it is really the package, how it is being made, without all the thread around this bottle. And because of this, it was quite difficult to open it, and so I actually tried to put this lid, but it didn't actually open. So it was last year, 1924, the Joy and unopened, just like the current circumstances that we are, with all sorts of wars and all sorts of sufferings and cost of living crisis, and, well, after pandemic. And I thought quite symbolic that no matter how I tried, I couldn't open it at all. And especially when the lid like this has been made into separated to the level of like stuck at the top to the level of impossible to open. So I was actually wanting to understand and also feel the scent again after decades, because I do remember using a small bottle of Joy in my university days. I have been a freak of aromatherapy or fragrance for decades in my life. Since the age of 11, when I have actually mischievously tried out my mother's parfum on her dressing mirror. And this is the one, again, I bought in the same shop. Amazingly, had this another one, and it did actually open like that. And then after so many decades, or maybe I should say, because it was made in 1930, nearly like 100 years after, I came to the finding of understanding these two masterpieces, one made by Monsieur Jacques Guérin, the other made by Monsieur Jampatu. And the timing I was able to open this was nice scent. That was back in early 1925, this particular year, New Year. And I thought it's quite symbolic, and hopefully this opening of joy, and to begin with, to be able to find those two masterpieces in the era that is almost really impossible to find them in the original scent, in the original boxes and the original bottles. And I suppose, and also I am, or I have been, as together with many people around the world, have been living a life of such despair, or a kind of feeling without any ability to plan the future, or the depressive mode, and to the level of not really wanting to pursue any purchasing of any fragrances. But I would like to take it as a symbolic hope that joy, this bottle, did not open last year, but this one, the same one, was opened wonderful in early 1925 this year, and today in the month of May, the end of, and I was really hoping that everything comes to idealistic solutions and wonderful end, and the beginning of hope and beginning of peace. But I personally think it's really like destiny, like coincidences or synchronicity, or I don't know what to say, but let's just hope that open joy, this in 2025 this year, I bought it around January or February, and now in the month of May, which is quite a lot of months, or many months taking, and with a kind of fear of escalation of wars, not only in Europe but also in the Middle East, and also now expanding to Asia, which is quite quite full of anxiety-filled moments, or era, or age, or year at the moment. And I, Yukie Kudo, am myself a global journalist and author, and also I've written a book called Requiem from Kamikaze, the actual non-fiction of the wartime in Japan, and also I have been serving as a visiting professor on the media literacy and information accuracy as well. And let's hope somehow this year, definitely as soon as possible, the war shall end, so that we can actually have hope to the level of being able to rejoice or enjoy the flowers in the summer, or maybe fantastic summer holidays, even though many people may not have, including myself, not at all have any mentality to enjoy the spring holiday. And I do hope that it does realize, just so symbolic as those two bottles. Thank you very much indeed for your kind attention. And since I have actually found more findings very interesting in the realm of the music, I shall actually create another video in the not really like months apart, as I quite often have been making and not making in this particular channel of mine. But let's just hope that everything goes well. Thank you very much indeed for your kind attention, and I think we have to all get together in actions, but not at all ignorance or inactions, in order to create the collective mentality in the whole wide world, to realize the idealistic present and the future. Thank you very much indeed for your kind attention. From Yukie Kudo from Japan. Thank you.